I also like to tell you that we do know the identity of the suspect in this case, but I will not be releasing his name tonight until after the next of kin notification. As you all know, of course, this is a tragic day for all of us in Southern Nevada, and at approximately 11:45 a.m., LVMPD dispatch received reports of an active shooter at the UNLV campus. UNLV campus police responded to the scene and engaged the suspect immediately right outside of Beam Hall. LVMPD officers also responded simultaneously. I can tell you today, 3 of the victims are confirmed deceased. There is a 4th victim who suffered a gunshot wound and is now currently in Sunrise Hospital, upgraded to stable condition. In addition to that, there were 4 additional people who were transported from the scene to nearby hospitals suffering from panic attacks. 2 of our officers were treated at UMC for minor injuries, which were received while searching the vast rooms and buildings for victims at UNLV. Our hearts go out to the entire UNLV community. No student should have to fear pursuing their dreams on the college campus. What happened today is a heinous, unforgivable crime, but I want you all to know something. It's a crime that we train for each and every day. When there's an active shooter threat, the men and women of the Southern Nevada first responder community, police, fire, and EMS come together to respond quickly and decisively with zero hesitation. Within minutes, both on and off-duty responders race to the campus to prevent further loss of life. On a personal note, I'll tell you that after 1 October and all the time and effort and energy that we've put together in training with the men and women of law enforcement, the fire service, and EMS, watching how seamlessly they work together today made me very, very proud to be their sheriff. Importantly, there was a gathering just outside of the building where the students were playing games and eating food. There were tables set up for them to build Legos. And if it hadn't been for the heroic actions of one of those police officers who responded, there could have been countless additional lives taken. Armed confrontation of the suspect by law enforcement stopped the suspect's further actions. I'm proud of the courage of these officers and the UNLV campus police and how they demonstrated that today. And with that, I'm going to introduce the governor of the great state of Nevada, Joe Lombardo. Governor.
Thank you. Kevin, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I think it's important for people to realize the partnership that is formed as a result of my career at LVMPD and with Kevin, the sheriff himself, and the confidence that I was assured of when I got notified today. I had no doubt that the response would be appropriate, it would be swift, it would be quick, to the satisfaction of all the naysayers that we normally experience during critical incidents. And today, LVMPD did a fantastic job, along with the University PD did a fantastic job. And after the after action is settled here and our concern for the victims are bolstered and satisfied, I will be absolutely proud of the response of the first responders. I'll be absolutely proud of the community of UNLV, and I'll be absolutely proud of the community of Las Vegas and the state of Nevada. I had some formal comments to be said, but the important piece is I'm here to show the solidarity between the community and the law enforcement community and ensure on behalf of the state of Nevada, we are here to help, provide resources to the benefit of the victims and to express my concern for the victims and favorable thoughts to the families and to ensure that we move forward as a society and as a community, and to assure the community we are doing everything within our ability to address these situations appropriately and with the knowledge that we have received on a continual basis. So, Kevin, thank you. I appreciate that, and I think it's appropriate that the chief of UPD comes up and says a few words in the positive response of his police department. So Chief Alex Garcia, please.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Adam Garcia. I'm the University Police Chief. First of all, let me begin by telling you all how heartbroken we are on our campus for what happened today. On behalf of the Chancellor, the Board of Regents, and President Whitfield, I am passing along our profound sense of loss for what occurred in the loss of life that took place. As the sheriff said, our officers collectively, UPD as well as Metro, responded to call for shots fired approximately 11:45. Two of our detectives responded to the scene and immediately engaged the suspect in a shootout. The suspect was struck and is deceased at this time. The campus was almost immediately closed, and out of an abundance of caution, all Nevada System of Higher Education institutions in Southern Nevada were as well closed. UNLV will remain closed for the remainder of today, tomorrow, and Friday, and additional determinations will be made as to whether or not the university will reopen next week, which will be finals week. So with that, I will turn it over to Commissioner Gibson.
Thank you, Chief. I'm Jim Gibson, the chairman of the Clark County Commission, and I'm here to express the shock that we all felt as a community, but at the same time, the enormous relief that we feel as a result of the great work of the first responders. We want everyone to know that anyone who has been affected will have the resources available to them to ensure that they have an opportunity and a pathway to work through whatever the effects have been. My colleagues on the County Commission, indeed all of us in Clark County, express our support to the university and the folks who've been affected over there. We know that this will not know the entirety of the effect of all of this for some time, but the one thing that is certain, which was spoken, I think, a few minutes ago, is that without the incredibly well-trained and effective response that was provided, a whole lot worse situation could have happened. For those who suffer loss under the circumstances, the worst has happened for them. And as a community, we need to make sure that we're mindful of them. We need to keep them in our prayers, and we need to respond in every other way that we possibly can in order to meet the needs that are so great at this time, this kind of a thing, and at this time in our lives here in this county. And now I would turn it over, the microphone over to Chief Steinbeck, who will talk just a little bit about what some of the resources are that are available. Chief?
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Adam, great job. Thank you very much, and great job by LVMPD and certainly all the participating agencies there. Yes, immediately we started to go ahead and we had people that aren't there on scene start to build up the resources for the recovery. Recovery starts actually before the incident even begins, and certainly as the incident unfolds. So we do have over at the Las Vegas Convention Center in the North Hall, we have opened up a family assistance center there. It's similar to the one that we opened up after 1 October, obviously smaller in scale, but ready to provide many of the same services, which include behavioral health services. UNLV has student services there. We have religious leaders there. Legal Aid of Nevada is there. Any resources that we might find necessary, whether they're immediate or in the long term, as the Commissioner said. Also at the Vegas Justice and Resiliency Center, that'll be open. That is the center that was opened up following 1 October, a long-term resiliency center. That is also ready to assist.
I just wanted to get your initial thoughts as far as what stands out most to you as far as what we've just heard in this presser.
The immediate response of law enforcement And ironically, it's the university police officers, which logically would make sense because they work the campus, but they were the ones who engaged the shooter. And as the sheriff described, if they hadn't stopped him, he was apparently in such close proximity to other students that this could have been much worse. I mean, it's horrible if anybody is killed, but the numbers could have been much, much bigger. And so it's another example of a quick response and you know what you're doing can save lives.
And how do investigators find a potential motive if the suspect is now dead?
Well, typically, Lindsay, is the people who have what I would call agendas to commit these types of shootings. It's all driven by anger, revenge, resentment, and they write about it. They talk about it. If he's younger, we don't know his age yet, he may have an online profile. So there may be a lot of things potentially, or he may have even just written it. As we've talked before, some of these guys write manifestos. Did he write one? Things like that. You'll be able to patch this together, I think. It actually becomes harder with older offenders because they don't use social media and they're very reclusive. And this kid or person may be also a reclusive, but the point being, they'll find an outlet, and typically it's social media, and hopefully that ends up being the case.
We were talking about in the press conference, and then you and I just briefly now, as far as the response time. To what do you credit that? Is this just a matter of police forces? We're seeing this so much more frequently now that they're doing drills and practicing for these exact type of scenarios.
I think the sheriff said it correctly. He said, we train all the time for the scenario that happened today in Las Vegas. And, you know, fortunately, it was a situation where officers were within minutes, maybe a very few minutes, of where the shooting occurred, and they were able to engage him. One of the keys, Lindsay, has been obviously, since Columbine, is for law enforcement to go toward the shooter. And that's exactly what they did. And you put your life in jeopardy, but you're there to save lives. And that's just what, you know, that's part of the job. And it looks like to me they carried it out in a supreme way today.
And glad to hear that that fourth person who was shot has at least been upgraded to stable condition. Brad Garrett, our thanks to you as always. We'll, of course, continue to follow updates on this shooting as they are warranted and continue to develop. And we're turning now to an atmospheric river that's pounding the Pacific Northwest, bringing up to 10 inches of rain in just the past 24 hours. Many rivers are at flood stage, including Washington's river.